Wow, May 2025. India was a country on the move, big time. We saw decisive military action, some world-first tech breakthroughs, and major social reforms. It really felt like a month that painted a picture of a nation changing fast, right before our eyes.
So what are we going to dive into? Well, we've got three huge stories that really define the month. A super precise military operation that kind of shifted the dynamic in the region. A Supreme Court ruling that honestly redefined what our basic rights mean in this digital age. And a tech leap that could literally change the lives of millions.
All right, here's our game plan. First, we'll look at how India is securing its borders. Then we'll jump into the amazing technology that's powering progress across the country. After that, we'll explore a major shift in the nation's social contract. And finally, we'll tie it all together to see what the big picture looked like for May.
So let's kick things off with security. May saw India really flexing its military muscle. And this wasn't just about reacting to threats, It was about a bigger, long-term strategic move towards building its own gear and modernizing the whole system.
The biggest headline on this front was Operation Sindoor. Now, this was a direct response to that tragic terrorist attack in Pahalgam. But the key thing to understand here is the nature of the operation. It was specifically designed to be focused and measured. The goal wasn't to provoke a bigger fight, it was to surgically take out terrorist infrastructure in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir.
And get this, the precision was just incredible. Indian forces hit exactly 9 terrorist sites. And here's what's really important. No Pakistani military facilities were touched. That really underlines the single-minded focus of the mission. This was purely about counter-terrorism.
And this theme of self-reliance, well, it extends out to sea too. In May, we saw the delivery of Arnala, the very first of a new class of anti-submarine warfare craft. This is a huge deal because it's completely homegrown, designed from the ground up for coastal defense. We're talking about a ship that can do everything from underwater surveillance to laying mines. It's a perfect example of India's growing independence in building its own advanced naval ships.
At the same time, the Navy also brought in INS Tamal, a seriously powerful new stealth frigate from a deal with Russia. But here's the real kicker. INS Tamal is the last major warship of its kind that India will be importing. From this point on, the focus is all on designing and building its own. So this ship really marks a symbolic and strategic turning point for the Navy.
Okay, shifting gears now from military hardware to the world of tech. This month, India launched 2 absolutely massive data-driven projects, and they're aimed at solving some really big, thorny problems in areas like farming, disaster management, and public health. So, let me ask you something. Do you think a simple weather forecast could actually save a farmer's entire crop, or even influence the national economy? Well, in May, India's answer to that was a huge, resounding yes.
So, say hello to the Bharat Forecast System. The upgrade here is just massive. Before, forecasts covered a 12-kilometer grid. Now, it's down to just 6 kilometers. That means we've gone from general forecasts for a whole block of villages to super-specific predictions for a single panchayat, or village council. This makes it the highest resolution weather model on the planet. That's not just an improvement, that's a total game changer for getting hyper-local warnings for everything from monsoons to heat waves.
And if you thought that was impressive, hold on. The Genome India project hit an absolutely monumental milestone in May. They finished the whole genome sequencing for over 10,000 people from all across the country.
So what's the big deal about sequencing 10,000 genomes? Well, what this does is create the first ever complete genetic map of India's incredibly diverse population. This database is going to be an absolute game changer for healthcare. It'll let scientists create affordable, targeted medicines and diagnostic tools made specifically for the Indian population, and it puts India right at the forefront of global genomics research.
All right, so we've seen the military tech, we've seen the data tech. Now let's talk about people. Because these incredible advancements are being matched by some really foundational shifts in our rights and social policies. Mesa really showed us an evolving vision of a more inclusive India.
Okay, this one is huge. The Supreme Court has now officially said that in our world today, having access to the internet and digital tools is a fundamental part of the right to life. What the court is basically saying is that being offline isn't just an inconvenience anymore. It's a real barrier that stops people from fully participating in society. And that means the government has a duty to help close that digital divide. And the good news kept rolling in on another front too. Mizoram and Goa were just declared the first states to achieve full, functional literacy. Now, this isn't just about being able to write your name. It means people have the essential skills in reading, writing, and math
that they need to navigate daily life. That's a massive step forward, both for empowering individuals and for the country as a whole. So we've got a cross-border strike, a weather revolution, and a new fundamental right. They seem totally disconnected, right? Well, let's take a step back and connect the dots. You see, when you look at it all together, you realize these aren't just random events. They're all connected. A proactive, self-reliant military creates the stability the country needs to make these huge technological leaps. In turn, that technology helps empower citizens, which makes the expansion of social rights and literacy possible. It's like a cycle where each part reinforces the other, showing a nation that's actively shaping its own future on every single front.
And that really leaves us with one big question. When a country is moving forward this fast on security, on technology, and on social rights all at the same time, it creates this powerful momentum. So the question is, with these foundations getting stronger by the day, what's India's next big leap going to be?